Okay, welcome to week 13. We're going to finish up Excel this week, and we're also going to talk about mobile and wireless devices. So we are going to be talking about charts or graphs in Excel. So how do we get a picture of our data that we can use for presentations and meetings that sometimes explains what we want to get across to our audience a lot better? The assignments this week, you are going to be doing something from Chapter 2 in Excel, and the file for this is in the Chapter 2 Excel folder, and it's a payroll one. It's got a lot of formulas in it, so it's a really good practice for the formulas. And there's a separate video on this particular assignment. You're going to read the chapter, go through the videos for Chapter 3 like you did before, and then do hands-on exercises 1, 2, and 3 from the book, from the e-text, as well as going out to the Goodwill Foundation Learning site again and doing some mobile device and wireless. One of the things that we want you to get out of this, we also want safety for those, because these are probably the ones that we worry most about security, because one thing is you can pick them up and take them away so people can get your data that way, but also wireless in itself is somewhat insecure unless it's properly secured. So you're going to look at that, complete the quiz, and work on that. I'm going to go to charts first. So what I have here is utilities for a family, and we're going to create some charts for that. Now, one of the things that's new in Office 2000 or Excel 2013 that I really like is the quick analysis tool. So I am going to select some data. And when I select the data, I get this little button that's called the quick analysis tool. This is not in earlier versions of Excel, just in 2013. When I click on it, it lets me do some quick analysis on my data in terms of formatting, which is the conditional formatting, which we don't go through, but it's kind of neat that you can highlight certain data based on the values in it. But the one we want to go to is the charts. And I can create charts very quickly using this. And I'm just going to do a clustered column. And this tries to suggest to you charts that would be most appropriate for your data, which is kind of nice because you don't have to think so far ahead, what's going to show the data that I want. So you'll notice it doesn't show pie charts because that really doesn't fit this data. We will use pie charts later on though. So I'm going to choose a clustered column. We have clustered and stacked columns. The clustered column shows the bars side by side. Stacked columns show the bars on top of each other, so I can get a total as well as the individual parts. But I'm going to go to a clustered column, and it creates my chart for me. So that was pretty quick. I can come here and put in my chart title. So I just click on it, and it doesn't show up as you're typing it. Notice it's in my formula bar. So I'm going to do utility comparison. Once I hit enter, it goes into my chart. Now I have some little tools over here that I get with my chart. So I can click on the plus and I can add or take things away. So if I didn't want a legend, I can take it away here. Although for this one, we do need a legend because we have 3 different bars. We want to know which one's water, fire, and electricity. This is your legend right down here. By the way, this is your category or x-axis. This is your y-axis or your value axis. So each point is an intersection of those, and you can see that we can see those. But I can add things like axis titles if you need them. Now, I would say I don't need these because it's pretty obvious that I have the months in the category axis and my title or my values over in the other one. So I would not add those. But you can add things to this if you want. The second one is form or styles. So I could choose different styles or colors, and notice it shows me ahead of time when I point to them. So as you're looking at those, you can see ahead of time, what that's going to look like and if that does anything for you. I really like this third button. This is the filter button. So we have all of this stuff out here and we look at it and we say, the water, I'm not really concerned about that. I really just want to look at gas and electric. I click on my filter and I say, I don't want water. And I apply it and the water goes away. If later on I want it back, I can hit on this filter button and I can take that away. I could also get rid of certain months if I don't want them. So that's kind of a really, really neat filter or feature that's on those. So I just wanted to explain what those buttons are. Another thing I wanted to explain really quick is how we move a chart. We don't copy and paste, but if I click on Move Chart, one of the things I can do to put it on a brand new sheet by itself is click on this new sheet and give it a name and just call it column, click OK. And this is what I get. I get a chart that's on a worksheet all by itself. I can't add anything else to it. It's easier to work with, easier to see. And I just have to click on that sheet to see it. So I really like doing that. Okay, some other things I can do here. Notice I have two toolbars with the charts. So one of the things I can do on my design toolbars, I can change the chart here. So I could quickly go maybe to a line chart. And I want to show you a line chart because line charts are used to show trends over time. When we looked at our column chart, we really could compare which one column is higher, which one is lower. The line chart shows trends over time. You will notice I have progressive time across the bottom. So I have January, February, make that a little smaller, a little bigger. January, February, March, April, May. Time that's progressing. 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Those are all examples of progressive time. That's what you will always have on your category access for a line chart. So it shows us trends, so we can see going up, going down, peaks and valleys. So we notice that our gas is high in the winter months, our electric is high in the summer months. So that's another type of chart. The other chart I wanted to show you is the bar chart. Go back to all charts. The bar chart is similar to the column chart, except that it's horizontal as opposed to vertical. So that's the only difference between those. One more thing I wanted to show you is this switch column and row. Right now, my legends are my utilities, and then it's separated out by month on my category. If I want that switched, I could do that. So now I have my months in my legend, and I have gas and electric on here. So that's just that switch column and row. So I just really wanted to show you that. Now I want to go ahead and go back to my expenses and do a different type of chart, which is a pie chart. Pie charts are used when we want to show the whole thing and what part that makes up. So I am going to select my electric, gas, and water, and then I'm going to select a totally separate range, which are my totals for the year. So to do that, for the second part of the range, I'm going to hold down my Control key and then select those three cells. Now, it's important that I don't hold down the Control key for the first range I select, but hold it down for the rest of the ranges. Because if I hold down the Control key for the first part I select, I'm going to get whatever cell I was in before I started this whole thing as part of my range, and you probably will not get a chart. Notice I don't get my Quick Analysis tool here, so I need to go to Insert, and here I can do Chart. Another thing that's new for 2013, recommended charts. So if you don't really know which one you want to choose, you can go to recommended, see all of them, and see which one is best. And I really, really like this because you can see ahead of time what things are going to look like. And here I am going to choose a pie chart. So I'm going to click OK, and here's my pie chart. Again, I have all the tools that I had before. This is on any chart, no matter how you create it. But you can see in my pie chart, I can see this is my whole utility budget. This is what makes up each one. Okay, so that's my chart title, and usually, or my pie chart. One of the things you might want to add here, notice I have the legend at the bottom. I really need more information normally on the chart titles. So you might want to go to your style. There are some different styles that show you different things. This is one thing I normally like to do. I want my percentages in my pie chart because normally what we're doing with a pie chart, what percentage of the whole thing is each of those pies. So having that percentage is really helpful. The other thing that I sometimes like to do is have the actual, instead of a legend, have the actual title in the pie chart. So I can try the styles and do that. The other way I can do that is come here, go to my data labels, and click on that arrow beside them. Tell them where I want them. So I want them on the center, and put those in here. Now, another way that I can do this that gives me more control, I can go to my format and select certain areas. So I can say I want my legend or my series one and actually do different things to it. The other thing I can do is click on the pies and go into that. So I can click on those and format those just by coming over here, and format the selection. And then I can do all kinds of things with my format here. So I can do the angle of the slice, explode the pie, and pie explosion just means I am pulling this out, and that's pulling all of them out. So I normally don't want to pull all of them out, but I can explode the pies. So I'm going to go to add data labels, and I'm going to do the center and put those in. I can also change the fill colors. Now on the pie charts, to change the fill colors, you click one time, you get everything. I'm going to click again. And notice now I just have one piece of the pie. So this is a way that I can click on that fill and go there and choose a color and fill this with maybe a different color because I don't particularly like that color. So I can change the color. But that's just something with those pie charts. You click once on all the pies, once on the separate ones. Again, if I want to move this, I'm going to move this in the worksheet. Point to the edge, you get your move pointer, and you can move this wherever you want on your worksheet. So that is pretty much what you're going to be doing with charts. And this is kind of more of the fun things. So the next video is going to be talking about the assignment that you're doing in chapter 2.